entertainment, current events, and Hollywood. Don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha Bean, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today we have a special guest.
E major, my name.
Welcome. Love it. I love that
Thank
name.
you.
It's a great name.
Thank you.
I love going back to the beginning. I always say the beginning kind of charts our trajectory in life, where we're going, our little habits along the way that we pick up as we're kids, kind of travel with us into our adulthood. Tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was that like? And kind of how did you find your way into music?
Oh yeah, my childhood was, it was fun actually. I come from a family of nine children. I'm the youngest of nine kids. My mom and dad, my parents, my dad was a civil servant, and my mom, both parents were civil servants actually. But my mom also had a restaurant and made pastries and stuff like that. So we are a singing family, you would say, because we'd always like pray together and sing songs and everything. But especially with me, I noticed I had more in terms of I was more interested, from a talent perspective. I could hit different notes and whatever Michael Jackson did back then in terms of whatever song I heard that Michael Jackson, on the radio, I would, hit the same note, and it was real easy for me to do, right?
Love it.
Yeah, so that's kind of like how it started. Michael Jackson was one of my favorite artists of all time, anyways. And then of course Boyz II Men and Stevie Wonder, and different artists like that. I really try to emulate their singing pattern, their ad libs and everything. So from there, I went on to a band, like a live band. I sang in churches.
Nice.
I led the choir. So it was kind of fun for me because it was always about music, and I had an a cappella group that we just harmonized together. Boys just hang out because we really admired Boyz II Men, or All for One, and all these different groups back then, right? So we try to do the same. Every time we come together, we harmonize different parts harmonies, and people are like, "Wow, these guys sound great." So
Right.
yeah, that's pretty much how it was for me growing up.
I love that. I love that. I always find the best singers seem like they start in church, or church is a big part of their life. Like those big voices, like your Whitney Houstons,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, Whitney Houston was one of my favorite, female singers because I love female singers. I love distinct voices, by the way. So,
Yeah.
and then in that same way, I like my female vocalists that have different and distinct voices, like Whitney Houston. She has power in her voice, and then
Right.
you can tell the texture of her voice. She had power and texture. Anita Baker had texture,
Mhm.
but what I mean, there's different. Tina Turner and all these different people. Christina Aguilera, you can tell she has, whenever you hear the voices, like, yeah, Mercy Gray, she was also one of those people that had different voice. So I was always really interested in different voices.
I love that.
Yeah.
And speaking of different voices, I mean, you have an amazing voice yourself.
Yeah.
I was bumping the song in the speakers this morning. I was
Thank you.
love it. And it's funny, I just recently got inducted into the African awards. It's like Goodwill Award show, and it's I have on my mom's side Nigerian roots, and I haven't really met most of my family yet, but I haven't really dived into that world. But I got the award, and it was just an amazing festival.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just so many beautiful tribes, and I met the King of Kenya was there, and I mean, it was just a beautiful event.
No kidding.
Yeah, and it was like, holy,
Wow.
this is just phenomenal. So I'm just
Yeah.
rich.
Congratulations, though.
Thank you so much. You come,
Yeah.
a rich history, right? A rich history, rich background, and it's beautiful to see this in the forefront and through musically done. So please talk about your new song, your single. First of all, I was just dancing to it. I loved it. What was the you know inspiration behind this?
Yes, my new single titles Bolo. It's kind of like in America when you say put a bolo out on that guy out there. You know what I'm saying? But it means something else. But yes, well, Bolo is it's like a slang, a Nigerian slang way of saying just a nuanced way of saying, a flirtatious way of saying this woman is driving you crazy in a good way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that what she does to you, in a flirtatious way, just really drives you crazy, right?
Right.
That's really what that is. But the song, pretty much, the inspiration was, I was actually the producer of the song. His name was Mastercraft, right? So sure. So when Mastercraft, was the one that produced the song, is right now, in West Africa and beyond. So when he started making the beats, I was just saying that the beat was actually the thing that really inspired the lyrics, because once when I heard the beat, it was really resonated, inside. And then, the song just started coming, the way you do me, I don't know. It's not like we came on. All right. So it was one of those sessions that, once Mastercraft started doing his beat, and it really, resonated inside. And then I started, the words just started coming out. And then the direction of the song, there was a clear path to what we needed to do based on the beat.
Nice, nice. No, and great, great
Yeah.
work. So the visuals, I believe, are they out? Are you working on those or?
Yeah, the visuals, came out the same day on the 20th, dropped the same day the audio dropped.
Nice,
The visual was shot in Nigeria as well, on an
nice.
island. And it was great. It was more like beach vibe type of scene that we had going on, and it was really nice. It's out on all platforms, visual platforms. It's also on YouTube as well.
All right. I haven't seen that yet, but everyone go check that out. Definitely support,
Yeah.
support. So when it comes to the creative process, when you're making music, how involved are you? Are you like in there with the producer? Are you like in there also visually? Are you like writing things with the visual art department, or you're just kind of letting people do their thing and you don't
Yes.
do?
Yeah, no, I'm hands-on. I'm hands-on.
Love it.
I'm a musician, so I come at it from that perspective. So I play guitar and I play piano as well, hence the name E major.
Nice.
So I like to get involved in the creative process, because it kind of helps you to put your imprint on that, in terms of, like, have the song the direction that you actually wanted. And sometimes, though, I write with writers, different
Mhm.
writers, and then sometimes I let them, give them the latitude to just kind of go at it, to kind of see a different perspective that somebody else has, right?
Right.
So, and we do it that way.
I love it. Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting because, I was actually
Yeah.
talking to somebody recently about like music has changed, since when our parents were, growing up into,
Yes.
our generation. Um, essentially it's super easy to make
Yes.
music and to connect with people. You can be in your basement and put a really good song out and they could get listeners. Do you like that we are in this age of information and
No
AI?
doubt. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, this is the right time to be in music industry, and to make music, because, back when the record companies and record labels, were, gatekeep everything and make it seem like it's so difficult, now, even from a music business perspective, it's easier. And then music production perspective, going from a track to an analog system to the digital. And now it's like you said, you can make music in your basement, you can make music in your car, you can even make it with your iPhone, really. For real. I mean, like, really, you can make music with your iPhone. There's somebody
Wow.
that made, I forgot his name, some artist. All his album was done with an iPhone.
Wow.
I mean, is mind blowing. Just an iPhone, and it sounded phenomenal. I mean, no difference from what I mean. You would actually go in an actual studio. No difference. So
Yeah.
it is. It's a blessing to be in this time. To actually be able to exist, and because
Absolutely.
it gives everybody a chance. That they wouldn't, even the kid in somewhere in Africa in the boonies, boondocks, that on the normal circumstance wouldn't have the chance.
Mhm.
It's giving everybody the chance, man, to come out and showcase their talent and what they have going on.
Absolutely. I think it's a
Yeah.
blessing as well. I really agree with that. I was watching something on I think it was Jimmy Kimmel, and he had Dr. Dre and Snoop and 50 Cent on, and Dr. Dre was talking about back in the day when he was producing, music. He would get the trash cans from outside, and he'd make that sound, to give it that fuller sound that he wanted in on the track, or he would use just anything, rubber bands, things that you wouldn't think that people use. But I actually, and he said, and,
Yes.
and so Jimmy said, "Do you still use that now?" And he says, "No." But it was interesting because it's like, but it for me, I think it's actually interesting to see the creative process. I think that would actually make it more enjoyable, like the things that
Yes.
sounds you can come up with, even though you don't have to use it. It's just, I think it's a part of the creative process that I think we technology kind of takes out, you know.
Yes, yes, yes. And Dr. Dre was also one of my favorite rappers as well,
Nice.
of all times, and also one of my favorite producers as well. So, and I might add, there's still people that still do it, even with the digital, different sounds we have from a digital perspective right now, because that's basically what he's saying. I mean, I don't need
Mhm.
to do. He's basically saying I don't need to do all that. It's easy, it's simple. But even now, I still see people coming up with stuff, in terms of using several sounds to create something. I had that done in one of my songs, and then the
Mhm.
producer was able to just create something with a sound of something that we didn't even think it was going to make it sound with. They created something. It sounded great with everything else. So yes, some producers like it and some don't. But like I said, it's a blessing right now to just have all that available for us and to us.
Yeah. So I was reading also, like I think it was like and I think it was 2019 you signed with Motion Major Records, Afrofusion R&B artist. So tell me what that felt like being signed, because you hear people talk about being signed versus indie and being your own artist, or you know basically essentially being your own boss. But is there a
Yeah.
difference? And what did it mean to you?
I mean, it meant everything. It meant the world because it means that someone sees your talents and believes in you
Mhm.
enough to put their money where their mouth is, so to speak, right? Um, I mean, it means the world, and it means that they've checked you out. They believe in you. They believe in your voice and your texture, and and your energy and your ability to actually and then and willing to stand by you till you get that record that is right now, that, which is what we're doing. So yes, the first time I was completely blown away. I was
Yeah.
blown away. I still am every time, because every day we're making magic, we're making great music, and yes, I am blown away.
I love that. I love that. Do you feel like there's a difference when, there's a certain artist, who was it? I think it was Chance the Rapper talked about how he was his own boss for many years. He never signed a record deal. And people were like, how? How's that even possible that you can, that he can move so easily in the music world? And you can, so it can be done, but I think, do you feel like it's harder for artists to be their to essentially do it themselves versus have a bunch of people in their pockets essentially?
Yeah, I mean, and it depends on how many people in your pockets, really.
That's true.
Because Chance the Rapper, everyone, their story is different, and being
Mhm.
an independent artist, and trying to. I remember even back in the day with Master P, how he did
Mhm.
it, when he did his own, and he was, selling CDs, and one CD at a time. Back when there was, it was about CD sales, right?
Right.
So yeah, I think it gives I really think that's what every artist should, we should be astute as, with music business, not just music production, but music, the business out,
Mhm.
of it, right? Because Chance, the rapper is very, astute with that. And that's what it makes you. It helps you to understand the ins and outs. Even when you're signed to a record, label, so to speak, then the duration of your signal, the signing, and you understand what you're doing and what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like LL Cool J that got locked in with, was it Def Jam for
I think so.
exactly, and then couldn't get out of it. He had a bad deal,
Yeah.
signed, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's good to actually do that. But once you get a chance to get signed with a label, that has more reach than you may have.
Mhm.
They have, they can spread more tentacles to get you what you need.
Mhm.
Then yeah, why not?
I
Why
agree.
not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been in some bad deals. So film wise side too. So and it taught me a lot because like you said, music business, film business, it's all business, really. I
That's
mean, yeah,
right.
you have a good time, but that's the thing is, if you're not making money, then
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. And and unfortunately, the business is shrewd.
yeah,
It's a shrewd. So if you find a label that is not that shrewd, that still look at you as not just an object,
yeah.
or but see humanize you, not dehumanize you, right? And
Mhm.
looking at you as an object, then that's also a blessing because again, some of in the industry is very it's they get really tight when it comes to money and how they kind of market the artist, and they want to kind of suck your blood out until they have no need for you. But
That's so true.
so that's why guys like Chance, the rapper, was able to kind of do it, trying to do it on his own, because I'm sure people have told him, listen man, don't get yourself into this. But if you find good labels that will still look at you as a human being and humanize you, again, because
Mhm.
that's the difference, dehumanizing somebody or humanizing somebody in the business, because at the end of the day, it's what people, what I mean, and they're gonna
Yeah.
have to live with themselves, and you gotta live with yourself, how you are relating or dealing from a business perspective with this certain individual.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I have a fun question, and there's no wrong answer, but the three levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could choose only one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
Respect, because respect is everything. You come out of this world without money, you come out of this world, and then power, respect is also power. If you're respected, then that's your power.
Hmm.
So I take out the money, I'll take out the respect, because the respect will get you those two things, really.
Yeah.
If some Because you can give me money and disrespect me, and that money I can't really live with it, because as a man, as a human being, I think everybody deserves respect.
That's a great answer. It's a great
Yeah.
answer. Um, so if any artist, living or dead, because I think you named some people that you really love. You said Michael Jackson is your favorite artist.
Michael Jackson, from a pop perspective, there's definitely
Okay.
Michael Jackson, bar none.
Okay.
From R&B perspective, yes, I don't like what he did, his personal life and all that, but R. Kelly,
Oh
from a
yeah,
vocal,
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
yeah. He is still the king of R&B
I mean,
as
I'm
far as
not.
I'm
The guy had
concerned.
some bangers. I'm not gonna
No
lie.
kidding, no
Could you
kidding.
imagine?
Listen.
Like people are so scared to bump his music out here. It's so funny.
So it's kind of like, I remember back in the day when, before LGBTQ and all that started, was, how the society was, people
Yeah.
didn't really like that. Elton John also was one of my favorite singers,
Oh
of
yeah.
all times, man,
Yeah.
because the man is a great musician. I mean,
Yeah.
I love musicians, right? So yeah, he was gay, and it's not something that I do. I'm not gay. I'm a straight dude, right? But I
Yeah.
love Elton John. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because Elton John is incredible. So I'm able to separate, Elton John's personal life and his music credibility and his,
Mhm.
musical genius, because he's a musical genius as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
So same
Absolutely.
thing with, Robert Kelly. Yes, what he's doing, his personal life is horrible.
Hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't want to, eat dinner with him if he's just a regular, you know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
he's a horrible guy, doing all that stuff, right?
Right.
But from a musical perspective, he's an
Uh-huh.
R&B genius. I
Yeah.
mean, musical genius, and I respect him for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a great answer. I was gonna say like because like you said, I was gonna just pose this question, but I think I'm curious if you could have a mentor, living or dead, somebody that is like can give you like the best advice in the music world. You can go to this person anytime. Who would it be? But I think I don't know. It could be a different answer.
It depends on the genre of music, like again, Michael Jackson, because he wasn't only
One
he wasn't
thing.
only I mean he was phenomenal.
Yeah,
He was impeccable when it came to music performance, then performance. So
it was
on the
insane.
studio, Michael Jackson was crazy, insane. Then
Yeah,
from a performance perspective, this man was like a god, right? And then
literally.
from a and then from the music business perspective, he's a good business. Look at what he did to Sony. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
Like
but
for
oh,
instance,
I
yeah, oh,
know.
absolutely.
There,
So
there'll
he
never be another Michael, unfortunately.
no,
They're
no,
gonna
and
make sure of that.
absolutely. So I would definitely want to live, with him. He is one of the guys I want to listen to. But I grew up singing R&B and
Yeah,
hip hop. R&B was my main thing. So that's why when it comes to R&B, R. Kelly, Joe, all
yeah.
these different guys out there, Usher, I would
Usher.
be like, yeah, 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 definitely.
Yeah, it seems like they pass the baton to Usher these days. I don't know. And now that Diddy's gone or whatever, it's like,
Yeah. No,
Usher has
Chris
the
Brown.
Chris
Chris
Brown's
Brown
great
is.
too. Yeah,
I think Chris Brown is better than Usher. That's in my
I
book.
agree.
Uh,
100% agree.
yeah, Chris
Yeah.
Brown is because Chris Brown pretty much have done pretty much everything Mike has done in terms from a performance perspective and everything, right? I mean, Chris
Yes.
can dance, he can sing, and the business perspective is really good. It's just that Michael Jackson has a different charisma. His charisma was bigger than anybody else out there, so that's it.
I
I
think
mean,
I think yeah, you're right. And I think too, I think you're absolutely right. Chris Brown is like I guess the Michael Jackson kind of because
yeah,
Chris Brown's one of
of
Chris
this
Brown's
time.
yeah, of this time
Yeah,
exactly. But
yeah.
you see that they kind of keep a cap on it, and he's not played. He's not really celebrated or even given the accolades that he really should deserve, which is kind of interesting because that's the thing about music industry I find very interesting. Like the other side of that, like again,
Right.
it's business. It's like I don't know who controls the temperature of what is hot or not, and then who's can turn it off. Like it's quite an interesting
It
thing.
is. It is. I think also Mike, it had Mike's greatness also had a lot to do with the way he connected with different race, right?
Yeah.
And different creed because of how he was changing his appearance, and
Mm.
to cater to the rest of his fans and different, color, race, and creed. So Chris doesn't have that. Chris, is stayed the same look that he's his hat, right? His men had that
Yeah.
look, and that's the same thing. So, and then I think that's what it is because back in the day, when MTV couldn't play Michael Jackson,
Mm.
and then now they could play him every time. He was the first person that actually MTV actually played Michael Jackson. He was actually black when they played him, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then, of course, subsequently, when his color started, evolving, when his evolution, I think he affected everyone could see and relate with Mike,
Mm-hmm.
not just from a vocal perspective, but also from color. He made sure of that. So I think that's the element that he had that
Mm.
made him different from Chris Brown, because Mike
Interesting.
cared about different race. Sometimes he would be like, I'm gonna start my tour, from Japan. Of
Yeah.
all places, he go to Japan
Yeah.
because and he go relate with his fans, and all that stuff. So Mike he understood the business, and how to apply himself, and he was a man of the people anyway. So
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely
yeah.
right. Yeah, in music world, yeah, it's a very interesting thing. Do you think that you found your not just your voice, but you've obviously you found your purpose, but you know like what you want, like as far as like your direction in this journey and what you're aiming for in musically?
Oh, absolutely. Because as you said, I mean earlier, when the music is one actually, all these different genres, was it wouldn't be what it is right now if the slaves that came from West Africa,
Yeah.
didn't bring it and had it be what it is right now. So at the end of the day, all these different genres, came from Afrobeat. Music is one. So this
Absolutely.
is the mother of music,
Absolutely.
Afrofusion. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, right? So I found it because that's why I call it Afrofusion, because
Mhm.
some of my songs, like when you listen to my song titled My Soul, right?
Mhm.
When you
Mhm.
listen to My Soul, you would think you're listening to a neo soul, because the delivery that I gave with it was more of R&B, neo soul, but also Afrobeat. So
Mhm.
that's why I call my style Afrofusion, because it's a fusion of all these different genres that I've had the opportunity to sing and learn. Now I can infuse it in different aspect, different ways into Afrobeat.
Love that. I love that. Do you ever get to, do you ever get in your journey? And I'm curious because I like to ask every artist, every creative this question because everybody has a different, reason or things that they do. But when you're not motivated, you ever get to a point like, okay, I don't really know what I'm gonna put out, and I don't feel inspired. How do you like? What helps you kind of get into the mode of like creating or getting like? What do you do to help you kind of get back into that space?
Oh yeah. I mean, when you're full, sometimes because inspiration comes a lot of different ways. Usually, I used to get songs when I'm sleeping or in my dream. And sometimes, you have a muse or a life situation happens. Like, I wrote a song for my mom because of how I felt about her, or I feel about her, all the her hard work, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
To raise us, with my dad and her contribution, because women oftentimes, from history, were not really given the accolades that they deserve. You know what I mean? So I decided to make a song to, give honor to whom honor is due, so to speak, right? So things like that, right? So, but when I'm feeling like this mental blockage or whatever, I usually, go work out, whatever, or invite a fellow artist to write with,
Nice.
because sometimes when you're writing with somebody, the energy, because I don't know if you agree, but energy, some people's energy can be infectious. Okay, so
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. So someone can come with bad energy, and it can infect you if you're not really guarding yourself really well, right?
Hmm.
And someone can come with a good energy, and then it affects you like, oh wow, this is doing good. All of a sudden, you're going right. So that's
So
that's
true.
really what I do. Yeah,
I love that. What advice would you give
yeah.
to up and coming artists or people who are trying to get in?
Oh man, I say, keep working on your crafts, keep sharpening your skill. Like everything we talked about on the show tonight, basically understanding your skill set, understand, be perfect from a studio, from music production perspective. Learn one instrument so you can master one instrument, right? Understand songwriting and know how to do that, but don't be too cocky and proud to allow other people to work with you, right?
Hmm.
And then don't give up, and just keep pushing, and then also understand the business aspect of it, because that's what we talked about. Because you need to gone are the days when you leave everything for a record label, to a record company to do it. You got to know what they're doing. You need to know what's going on, so when they're have your best interest in heart, or when they're not, right? Understand the laws and everything that applies, and the nuances of the laws, right?
Absolutely.
Because opportunity favors them that are ready. So when you're
Ooh, that's
ready,
good. Hmm.
opportunity comes, bam, you slide right in and take it.
That's so true. Yeah, when you're
Yeah.
prepared and that's the thing. It's like when you don't see the opportunity, but you're start sharpening your tool, you continue to sharpen your skills. When you like you said, when you do see when the opportunity that does come, you're more than ready to have that.
Yes,
That's
because you're
so
telling
important.
the universe that, listen, I deserve this. When
Yeah.
you're sharpening your skills, you're telling the universe, listen, I want this. I gotta have this, and it's gonna happen because that's the field you're in. It's just gonna happen, right? But what if it happens and then you're not ready? Then what are you gonna do?
Right, right.
You miss
Yeah.
out.
So true.
Yeah,
So very true.
yeah.
So what's would you like? I mean, are you working on anything next? Are you working on any like secret projects that you would like to kind of talk about before you
Oh,
go?
most definitely. Yeah, yes. So I'm working on a body of work, an
Mhm.
album. Yes. So I have one more single that's gonna come out before the end of the year, for November. which is going to go through December and January. And then come next year, God willing, we're looking at, dropping an album,
All
a body of
right.
work. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's exciting. That's
Thank
exciting.
you so much.
You heard it
Thank
first
you.
here. Dropping the album. All right. Well, we can't
Yes,
wait.
ma'am.
And congratulations.
Yeah.
And where can people
Thank
find you on social media to follow everything you got going on?
Yes, please. Thank you for listening. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, on pretty much all the platforms. EMAJOR underscore official. Again, it's E major underscore official. And the song, and the video, Bolo is the title of the song. It's out on all platforms, all,
Woohoo.
digital platforms, DSPs. And then also the video is out. It's on MTV, MTV Base. It's pretty much everywhere.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, congratulations and continue your success to you. Seriously, awesome stuff.
Thank you so much. And then you got to hurry up and come back down to your mother's side and see
I
what's going
know,
on out
right? I
here.
gotta come out there.
That's right.
Definitely.
No,
I gotta make a movie or
it's a whole
something out
vibe,
there.
man. You do for real.
That'll be
And put me in
awesome.
the movie too, because
Heck
because
yeah.
I'll be in the movie.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, I'll definitely
Yes,
connect
yeah,
with you. We're connected. We're connected. And
no doubt.
thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time.
See you.